So what was the biggest thing that you were kind of dealing with in terms of your struggles back then?
The ability to feel comfortable enough at the gym to be consistent. And it's hard to be consistent when you feel like you don't know what you're doing. And obviously just the general knowledge of fitness, building a schedule for the gym.
The reason why you lacked that consistency of going to the gym was primarily due to the lack of knowledge of not really knowing like what to do in terms of like the exercises or what specifically.
Yeah.
Okay, 100%. And then once you kind of had that knowledge, you were a lot more consistent with actually showing up. And then you also mentioned in terms of your scheduling, was that more of a time management thing or what did you mean by that?
No, just like figuring out like how frequently to do arms and back
Oh.
and legs. And I didn't know what I was doing. So it was nice to have that laid out.
So was your biggest struggle before joining mainly the weight loss or were you trying to build muscle or was it like a combination of both?
I think it was the self-discipline to stay consistent. It's hard to keep going if you're not seeing any changes. And I obviously stuck with it long enough to see the changes that I wanted to see.
Before joining then, were you skeptical at all about anything, whether it was it being online or just any thoughts you had before joining?
Not really, actually. I was ready to do something. I prefer as much possible to be virtual. I was better with it being virtual.
Oh, that's so interesting. I mean, because most people I ask, right, they're always skeptical about it being virtual. So it's funny how you have like the opposite mindset.
I think I prefer virtual because I'm comfortable enough going to the gym. And, I have a gym at my office, so I'm able to go and not feel self-conscious like if I'm doing something right or, I don't have the pressure of, per se, a gym rat right next to me judging me if I'm doing it correctly. I was able to learn. And so I think that helped me probably do it on my own was being fortunate enough to have a somewhat private gym.
That is so interesting. So I'm pretty similar in that regard where I like to do most things like privately without having like the spotlight or the pressure of someone actually like overlooking me, have that pressure on me. So was that kind of similar for you where you can almost like do it on your own while still having that virtual accountability?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It was nice to not feel self-conscious.
What was the biggest breakthrough that you experienced just all throughout this entire year since joining? I know you mentioned obviously the consistency, having that accountability, but what would you say was like the biggest breakthrough for you?
I would say just learning how much I enjoy fitness in general. It wasn't something that I disliked before, but it's now it's not an option in my life anymore. I have a vacation coming up and it was important to me to like book somewhere that had a gym. I don't have a national gym membership, so I want to make sure that where I'm going, I can at least have some sort of push. Even if it's just a basic hotel gym, I still want to have the ability to be fit. And that is definitely a mind shift change. Not that I didn't like it before. It's just now it took a year of accountability to instill that in myself.
I mean, that is so powerful. Just the fact that you actually enjoy the process of going into the gym, exercising, eating healthy, all these things. Like once that turns into a habit, which it seems like now it pretty much has, getting in shape and staying in shape will just be almost like automatic, right? Almost like brushing your teeth, for example. And I think once you get to that place, it's just a habit now, right? Where you don't have to maybe think twice about doing your workouts or eating healthy, right? So you mentioned like fitness being fun for you now. So what specific things did you find enjoyable now?
This probably sounds weird. I thoroughly enjoy being sore.
Good.
Like,
Yeah, I love that.
to an extent, obviously, but like I don't want to be in pain, but I enjoy like after a leg day when you go to like bend over and you like feel it, like you're feeling that because you're pushing yourself to be better, not because you're sitting on the couch for too long and your back hurts because you're out of shape. Like it's of the pain to feel. It's a great pain.
Yeah, like muscle soreness is an absolute great sign that you're stimulating your muscles properly in a good way. And I'm sure you can differentiate the difference between like muscle pain
Oh yeah.
and muscle soreness. Yeah, a lot of people shy away from the soreness, but I mean, that's a great thing, right? It means you're stimulating your muscles, it means they're recovering. So yeah, I think that's awesome. Anything else that you, I guess, now find enjoyable, whether it's like maybe eating healthier meals now, doing your meal prep or anything like that?
I definitely have been a lot more consistent with my meals, the 80-20.
Yeah.
Not that I was ever like a dieter that like would swing on a diet or like have a fad diet, but it's definitely nice to buckle down 80% of the time because then the other 20% I don't have to care. And that is nice.
It's a freeing feeling, right? Knowing that, hey, if I just have this healthy balance, then I can still like, never sacrifice like my favorite foods ever again, just within moderation, right? So yeah, I think that's a great kind of life skill to have as well. And so I know we had a couple different goals throughout this past year of you being inside the program, right? Where obviously you went through a weight loss phase and then kind of like a muscle building phase. And so what specific results have you experienced the most?
I mean, meal prepping was a huge one. Now it's what I do every Sunday. I make, a few meals I do pretty good about cooking on a regular basis, but it's nice to meal prep for those moments that I know I'm not going to go. So that was nice to become consistent. Sorry, I forgot the question.
Yeah, no, so I guess in terms of like the specific results you notice, whether it's obviously the way you look, the way your clothes feel, your mindset, your energy levels, and then also maybe like the number on a scale, how that's kind of changed over time.
I would say definitely the way my clothes fit. Before I carried probably some unhealthy weight in my midsection. It's really weird that my chest sticks out further than my stomach. It's such like a weird thing to look down and not see your belly sticking out. Not that I was overly heavy before, but
Yeah.
it's definitely a nice change to see just your shirts fit differently. I had to actually buy new pants, which wasn't like something I had really planned on doing. I didn't really think I was changing that much. My pants were tighter on the thighs, and then they started to be like skinny jeans. So I had to change the style of pants that I wear. So that was something like it was good, but it was unexpected.
Yeah, that's the interesting dilemma where your quads get bigger, but then your waistline kind of stayed somewhat the
It
same.
was interesting because I was still like fitting in my jeans, but then I wasn't fitting in my jeans. So, and it was weird to like jean shop because I always knew what style of jeans I liked and bought, and now I have to like shop.
And I know that's a really common thing amongst a lot of people who start to like build muscle, especially around their legs, where yeah, specifically shopping for clothes now becomes increasingly a bit more difficult. So I guess it's a good problem to have, but hopefully you're able to find like a good solution
Yeah.
with that. Who would you, I guess, recommend this program to, or who do you think this would be like a good fit for?
I have recommended the program to anybody that will listen to me. So I work at Apple and they actually just introduced like the weight loss shot.
Is this like Ozempic stuff?
Yeah, kind of like that. I don't know exactly. I didn't obviously partake in it, but it was interesting to the people. A lot of them, they have to lose weight before they can do it. I was like, listen, I got a program.
I do see a lot of people start taking these specific drugs and they obviously do work, right? But at the same time, like they don't really teach you the habits in order to like keep the weight off, right? And I think what you've kind of gone through is what a lot of people aren't willing to go through of actually not only like taking your time with it, but then as you kind of take your time with this, right, you're starting to like almost like shift your identity to become the person who can sustain these results now, right? Which unfortunately those drugs, it's almost like a shortcut and doesn't really like allow you to change your identity, right? Because you can change your body, but if you still have the identity of eating junk food all the time or just all these poor habits, then it's not really going to be a sustainable or healthy way to do things, right? So hopefully you do kind of feel that way in terms of like, hey, what I went.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I just thought it was interesting because I was around all these people that also wanted to be healthy. And I'm like, listen, the shot's great, but here's a better way to do it.
I'm just pumped and glad that you have that mindset too. So it seems like you had a great experience, which I honestly love. What was there anything for you that you maybe did not enjoy or thought could have gone a bit better?
No, I don't think so. I enjoyed all of it. It was interesting to have accountability as an adult, but it was nice because, like, without that accountability, especially in the beginning, I wouldn't have stuck with it and ended up where I am now. So, no, I really don't have I have nothing bad to say.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And accountability in what way? Was it mainly through the check-ins or just communication or what specifically?
I think a combination of it all. It was nice to have like a weekly check-in because, then after a few months, I kind of was answering the questions in my head before the check-in, which was nice because obviously it was keeping myself in check, but it was also nice to have like kind of the personable check-ins throughout the week as well.
Awesome.